Good morning, all of you. Welcome to Young Science Leader Series. And I'm sorry for some technical glitch from my side. And we have started a little bit delayed, so it doesn't matter. And I'm really privileged to have Dr. Nitin Trivedi with us today. So this weekend, we are going to feature 4 talks, today and tomorrow. So today we are going to have 2 talks and tomorrow again, another 2 talks. One second. And Dr. Nitin is a DST Inspire faculty. He's a Inspire faculty award. It's a prestigious award by the Department of Science and Technology, and he's a faculty at the Department of Biotechnology at ICT Mumbai. So ICT, as you know, it is Institute of Chemical Technology of the University of Mumbai. Earlier, it was known as UDCT. And ICT is one of the top tier institute as per the latest NIRF ranking, and it has been on the top for the last many years in NIRF. And he holds a PhD in biological sciences from CSIR CSMCRI in Bhavnagar, Gujarat, in the field of algae. So CSMCRI has done a remarkable contribution in the field of algae, and he has been working on the field of seaweed research for last many years. And he holds BSc from SP University in Anand and MSc from University of Rajasthan in Jaipur in microbiology. And he is recipient of national and international fellowships like CSIR Senior Research Fellowship, DS Kothari PDF, one of the prestigious PDF postdoctoral fellowship in India, ARO PDF Israel, PDF at Dalhousie University in Canada, that is Halifax in Nova Scotia, visiting scientist in the University of Algarve in Portugal, DST Inspire faculty from DST in India. Many remarkable achievements. He had visited University of Messina in Italy as a guest researcher in a project BioWalk for Biofuels in 2015. And his area of research interest is on seaweed biotechnology, including seaweed growth engineering, seaweed for biofuels, biorefinery, bioremediation, and industrial applications, for review for many of the top journals, including algal research, energy and fuel, energy conversion, 3 biotech, process biochemistry, Rendiconti, Lindsay, the Italian journal, and so on. And his passion is research and development plus teaching. And his vision is to promote seaweed research in India, outreach activities for betterment of the education. So I'm really glad to have you here with us, Dr. Nitin. And Nitin is also passionate with our program, Young Science Leader program, as well as the virtual internship program. He has been interning many students who are watching. I'm sure you're watching this program live today. And thanks, Nitin. Nitin is also going to this session. Is also going to be a Q&A for the opportunities in the field of marine biology. So if you are interested in marine biology, please put your questions in the chat box. And today with us, Shruti Gamya Dash is an active participant. She also won the best participant award of our recently concluded, the science leadership workshop. And over to you, Shruti. Shruti is going to be a co-moderator of this session. Welcome, Shruti. Over to you.
Good morning to all of you. Thank you, Dr. Felix. Good morning, Dr. Nitin Trivedi, sir. Good morning to the Young Science Leadership talk. And we all are very fortunate to listen from your research journey. Kindly, sir, please continue. Over to you, Dr. Nitin Trivedi, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Felix and Dr. Shruti. Namaste and good morning to all the participants. At the outset, I would like to thank Dr. Felix for giving me this opportunity to share my journey with all of you. And I must say, Dr. Felix is doing a wonderful job for the betterment of Indian science. So, can you share the screen, Dr. Felix?
Yes, I'm just sharing. I hope it's visible to you.
Yeah. Perfect.
Okay.
So, I belong to a very small village in Banswara district of the Rajasthan, and I have started my career, my journey in the government school. So I studied up to 10th. I studied in the government school, and that is in Hindi medium. So there was no CBSE, nothing, just state board. So after 10th, I moved to district home district Banswara because we were not having a science in our school. So then I took admission in a school and I passed that in first division with the biology. So after 12th, the question came that what to do next because in our district college we were having a botany, chemistry, zoology as a main science subject, and there was no applied subject. Then my father suggested me, either you go to the, Gujarat or some other cities of the Rajasthan. So at that time, I think Gujarat was doing good in education, especially in the applied science. And then I moved to the Anand, Gujarat, and I took admission in a college affiliate to the Sardar Patel University. So in first year, I studied the basic subjects, botany, chemistry, zoology, English, and based on the percentage, obtained or secured in the first year, I got a microbiology as a subject, to do my graduation. So I was lucky that I was having a teacher like Professor Dr. Akshay Gupte, who was a HOD at that time, and I impressed with his passion, and sincerity towards the microbiology. And I think that was the turning point where it ignites in my mind that I have to do something in microbiology or something in the research. So after graduation, again I applied to the several colleges, in India for the masters in microbiology, and I got admission in a college affiliated to the University of Rajasthan, and I passed that with the first class. And I think the foundation which I got in BSc, I think that was the reason I got distinction in my masters. So as I was a microbiology student, I have two options. Either go for some pharmaceutical industry, some beverages industry, food industry, or either I will go for some research. So then I started applying for in all the fields, and I got a call from a CSIR, CSMCRI in October 2008. And after written exam and interview, I cleared that. I cleared, and I got offer letter to join the CSIR, CSMCRI. So on career day, 12th January 2009, I joined the CSIR, CSMCRI in a project and under the guidance of Dr. C.R.K. Reddy. And this is how my journey in seaweed research or seaweed biotechnology started. So I registered for a PhD in ACSIR, that was the Academy of Scientific and Innovative Research by the CSIR, and I think I was in the first batch to register for PhD, and I completed my PhD in biological science and on the bioethanol production of marine macrophytic green alga Ulva fasciata. And after that, I applied for several fellowships, and this is the long path starting from the 10 to the your PhD. It took almost 15 years, and I think this is the common path for all the researchers who pursue a PhD. Next slide, please. Next slide, Dr. Felix. Yeah.
It's already, I think.
Yeah. So PhD, I must say it is a learning phase, with obstacles and success. There is no failure because in research, either you will learn or you will succeed. So as I said that I joined the CSIR, CSMCRI on career day, and I was a microbiologist, and my guide, Dr. C.R.K. Reddy, who is a renowned phycologist in India as well as abroad. So he was a phycologist and I was a microbiologist. Then he said, at one day after office time, he called me and he told me that why don't you do some value addition of the seaweeds, because you are a microbiologist and you can do wonder with the microbiology, microbes. Then this is how I started working on the value addition of the seaweeds, and I mainly worked on the marine enzymes secreting the enzymes, marine bacteria secreting the enzymes, and that enzymes I have used for the hydrolysis of the algal biomass and followed by the fermentation to produce the bioethanol. So it was very interesting journey because I joined in 2009 and I published 4 papers, as a lead and co-author, and I didn't get registered because there was some issues going between Bhavnagar University and CSMCRI. So then, as a research scholar, and when you are working in a national lab and you have 4 publications in 2 years, obviously one should one should think that why don't I apply to the different institutes, maybe abroad. In similar way, I also started applying, and I got doctoral program in Energy and Environment Fusion Technology Center in Myongji University, South Korea, and the work profile was similar because they were also doing on work on the algal biofuel. So at the same time, after a couple of months, this ACSIR came into the picture, and I also got selected for the doctoral program in ACSIR New Delhi. So then I thought that I already spent 2 years of time, and I published a couple of papers. Then I discussed with my my colleagues, and they suggested that it's better to continue here, and I continue my PhD work at CSMCRI. And I registered for PhD in biological science in February 2011. And in 2012, I was awarded with CSR Senior Research Fellowship in first attempt. I remember we 9 people have applied, and only 2 got from the CSMCR, and I was lucky that I was one among them. And it is a big relief for next 3 years, when you have your individual fellowships, it will give some kind of freedom, you can think and you can do experiment the way you want. Obviously, you are associated with the lab, so you also have to do, you also have to take the part, part in the different projects or activities going on the your laboratory as well. So in 2015, Dr. Reddy gave me an opportunity, to visit University of Messina, Italy, as a guest researcher in a project BioWalk for biofuels, and I was there for 15 days. And me and my colleague, we demonstrated, the seaweed biomass production through the protoplast isolation. I was a microbiologist, and I've been to University of Messina. And I performed, the protoplast isolation followed by the regeneration of the seaweed biomass. So it was very interesting. Then in 2015 August, I defended my PhD through Skype. It was again interesting because my thesis, it had gone to the scientists from, professor of IIT and IIP Dehradun CSIR lab. And they were not having time because of their busy schedules, and they suggested me why don't you present your PhD thesis on Skype, and this is how I defended my PhD. Next slide. So this is just the highlights of the PhD. The major, intention to show this slide is for the young researcher or the PhD who are currently doing the PhD. That from the beginning, I suggest you design your objectives in such a way that you can publish a good number of papers from your different objectives. Like from introduction part, I published 2 book chapters. Then enzymatic hydrolysis and fermentation of the seaweed biomass, I published 4 papers using both enzymes from the marine bacteria and commercial enzymes. And in last objectives, again I published a paper that was on the biorefinery of the green seaweeds, and that paper was published in the Nature journal, which is a scientific report. So this is how I did my PhD. And I suggest and I request, young PhD scholars, you design your objective in such a way from the beginning that at the end of your PhD, you can have, good number of publications. Next, please. Okay, again the question came that after PhD, what next? So it is my theory that if you have passion and patience and with good publications, either you can go for the postdoctoral fellowships, both national and international, or directly direct entry level recruitment if eligible and you are lucky. If you are, because there are several openings for the scientist at the age of 32, and if you are lucky and you are able to complete your PhD before 32, then there are chances you will get absorbed in the some good institutes. And if not, then it is my suggestion or humble request to the researcher that I think if you don't have passion and patience, then I think the one must think, analyze, and find the job of your interest, because this process of applying postdoctoral fellowships, and it requires lots of efforts, and after submission of a number of fellowships and projects, and if you will not get through that, it will get the it will get some kind of depression and demotivation, and I think that is not good for a long time. So in my case, I think India has a very limited industries and institutes working on seaweeds. Then I also started applying for national and international fellowships, and I got a ARO. This is Agriculture Research Organization postdoctoral fellowship in Israel, and that was in food microbiology. But I wanted to pursue my career in seaweed biotechnology, so I didn't avail that fellowship, and I got selected in another fellowship, that is a postdoctoral fellowship at DBT ICT CEB in a DSIR and industrial collaboration project, which was on the seaweed biotechnology. And then I decided that it is better to continue, in the field of seaweed biotechnology. And I think after completion of, after defending of my PhD viva, I think after 12 days, I joined DBT ICT CEB, which is on 1st September 2015, as a research associate. Then I worked there, as for one and a half year. And again, the project has a duration, So as a young career researcher, you have to again apply for the fellowship. You have to look for the alternates, because after 2 years, what will be the next? This is, I think, this is the process for all the researchers, until unless they will get a job. Then I applied for DS Kothari postdoctoral fellowship by UGC. Then simultaneously I applied for postdoctoral fellowship at Dalhousie University, Canada, with a reference of my friend. He suggested me that based on your profile, you have a chance to get a postdoctoral fellowship here. So I applied and I got that fellowship. And at the same time, I applied the DST Inspire faculty, from the Department of Science and Technology. So within a 1 month of time, I got the offer letter from all the three, DS Kothari postdoctoral from Canada and DST Inspire faculty. Again, I was confused, and I thought that it is better to continue again as a DST Inspire faculty, because it will be in the same line, seaweed biotechnology. And I will get some experience of the faculty as well, and the most important is I wanted to learn. I wanted to be part of the ICT, because they are good in industrial research. So then I joined in 2017 as a DST Inspire faculty, and in 2019 I also got this visiting scientist fellowship, but due to some visa issue. I could not able to visit that university. So if I believe that the turning point in my career is the exposure and experience of the national lab, which is very important, because you have all the facilities to do good research. Then supportive guide and colleagues. I was lucky that I got a guide like Dr. C.R.K. Reddy. He supported in every manner, especially in writing the manuscript and writing these projects, and he has a very good writing skills. And of course colleagues, your lab member, they are the strength of you. So I was fortunate that I got a very supportive colleagues like Dr. Vishal Gupta, Dr. Manoj Gupta, Dr. Pooja, Dr. Ravindra Pal, Dr. Ravi Singh Baghel, Mahendra Shukla, and we were having a wonderful team of the colleagues, and that helped me to do good research. Then the project writing during my PhD coursework, yes, there was in coursework we have to submit two projects, and this project work helped me a lot to to apply for this national and international postdoctoral fellowship, and of course the good publications. So these are the turning points which give me success in getting such good fellowships. Next slide. So these are back one. Yeah. So this is my ongoing activities. After joining as a DST Inspire faculty, I am the PI of the DST funded project. Then I am guiding a project fellow under my project. Then I am teaching microbiology as well, to the students of BTech and BPharm, and I'm writing national and international projects in collaboration with faculty, and reviewing research articles for several international journals, and accepting duty as an external examiner to conduct practical exams. Then I'm lucky that I got an invitation to deliver a talk, invited talk in several institute conferences. And though I didn't get a chance to study in the higher institutes like IIT, but I feel happy that they are identifying my potential. They are inviting me to deliver lecture in such renowned institutes. And of course, I'm learning academic and research activities required to become a good faculty, for future. So these are the some ongoing, activities, and I'm enjoying these all activities. Next slide. Yeah, so if you can say research is a good teacher, or these are the lessons which I have learned from the research, in my 10 years of journey. You have to keep calm and have patience, this is very important. Several times when you are a PhD student, you submit a manuscript, and, your guide don't have time to see, and, will get frustrated that he's not giving time to me and all. So we have to understand that as a guide, they also have some, priority work, and we have to keep calm, and we have to be patient, and then stay focused. Yes, we have to finish our objectives, PhD objectives or any objectives in a given time period. So we have to stay focused and motivated. Then another thing is time management. It is very important, because you gave a limited time to do your research, and so if you plan your work from the beginning, and I think then there you will not get any issue of delaying your PhD, because I have seen several students that they are taking 7 to 8 years of time to do PhD, so which is not good. So I think every researcher should have this time management quality. Then again, as a researcher, we have to think, we have to plan, implement, and analyze. Before any experiments, I think we should do all this exercise. So I suggest that you read a lot, then you plan, and once you have hypothesis or ready, you start working on that, and you analyze. I believe within 6 months you can do good research, and you can publish a good paper. Then again, resource management is again it is a skills you learned as a researcher, because we have limited resource, especially for the young faculty. They have limited grants, and they have to manage the things in the resources which they have. Then it is important to learn to handle the failures, because several times we apply for several fellowships and grants, and a manuscript, will submit manuscript, and unfortunately will not get that. So it's okay. That is a part of the research, and we have to accept that, and we have to work on the our mistakes, and we have to further improve that. Then the next important thing is the support people in the best possible way, because I believe that most of it, this is mainly for the guide or young faculty. Don't treat your student as a as like a student. Treat them as a friend. because first we are human being and then we are a research guide, So I think it is our moral responsibility to talk to our students, and do some outing with them, So they will also feel, friendly, and they will share their experience, and they will do some good research. So this is very important. And finally, the no shortcuts. I think in research there is no shortcuts. We have to do hard work, and I think hard work is the only way it will get some success to you. So these are the lessons which I personally learned from the research, and I think this all points it is applicable to our life as well. If we want to do, if we want to live a happy life, then we should know management of all these points. Next slide. So based on, I started from Hindi medium, and, I got some good fellowships. And so these are some suggestions, because at that time there was nobody to guide me, and I have learned step by step, and from the people, and, these are the suggestions for UG and PG students, PhD and PDF and young faculty. I suggest that for UG and PG students, if you are interested in pursue your career in science, I think you should identify the area and enhance your knowledge in that particular direction. Then interact with the researchers whenever get an opportunity. Then attend scientific conferences and workshops if possible. Science symposium. Then select national level or well-equipped laboratory for your dissertation work. It is very important, because this is the time which ignites your mind to whether you want to continue your career in a research or not. So it is very important that you work in a good laboratory. Then try for your own PhD fellowships like CSIR, JRF, DST Inspire Fellowship, DST Women Scientists. There are options, for the PhD program. Then apply for the international fellowships if eligible. If you do good research in your master's, and if you publish a good paper, then there are universities in abroad who are offering PhD fellowships with your paper and experiences. So these are some tips to the UG and PG students. And for PhD and PDF, again, I suggest you select a good research institute or university with established instrumentation facility, because it will help you to do good research and in a limited time, and selection of good guide is very crucial and important. Therefore, if possible, visit his or her profile before apply. This is very important, because we have to spend time, 5 years with guide, and I have seen that in India, when the student join as a PhD, most of the guide, they leave everything on themselves, that you have to manage all the things for your PhD. So I think this is very crucial, because you have to be with them for 5 years. So make sure that if you get a chance, first visit his profile and just try to understand his background. Then set target for publications, book chapters, and patent if possible. The minimum duration is 5 years, so you can target 5 first of the research papers or book chapters. It will help you to get some good fellowships in future. Then you must have ResearchGate, Publon, Google Scholar, Researcher ID, LinkedIn profiles, to interact with the people and to connect with the people of the scientific community. And if possible, learn how to use Manly and not software during your PhD, because it will save your time, for to prepare a manuscript, especially in the reference section. Again, the next is don't depend on guide for guidance. Take support from colleagues and other resources. For example, in my case, my guide was a psychologist and I was a microbiologist. And it was obvious that he didn't have that much knowledge of microbiology. So sometimes we have to take support from colleagues and the expert of the respective field. So this is also important. Then present your research work in the national and international conference. There are some travel grants available to attend the international fellowships by DST, DBT, CSR. So you can apply for that. and for exposure and interaction with the subject experts. Then apply for the fellowships like CSR, SRF, and the Newton Bhabha fellowships and Humboldt fellowship, DART fellowship during your PhD tenure. These all are the, these international fellowships are the short-term fellowships. It will help you for some good research experience, and it will set a platform for your future research as well. And the last is start thinking for your future when you are in the last year of your PhD, and start applying for the PDF, like the national PDF, like NPDF, DSK PDF. There are fellowships from CSR, DBT, RA, then women scientist schemes are there, then DST Inspire faculty is there, Nehru PDF, Humboldt fellowship, JSPS PDF. These are the international fellowships which you can apply, after submission of your thesis. So these are the suggestions for PhD and PDF, and some suggestions for the young faculty. Though I am also young faculty, but I'm going through all these things, so I thought it's better to share with the young faculty. So try to collaborate with faculty of similar or other institutes, and submit a proposal to different funding agencies like DBT, DST, SERB, DSIR, and some international grants. Then apply for several faculty development program and exchange program. There are programs, for 6 to 12 months available. Then attend conferences, workshops, symposium for knowledge and interaction for future collaborations. And the important thing is treat your student as a friend, not the way your guide treated you. Because I was lucky, I got a good guide, even though every guide has some positives and negatives. It's up to us that what we want to learn from him. So if we focus on the positives, then you can learn so many things from your guide. So it is my request to the young faculty that treat them as a friend. So they should not feel depressed and demotivated. So don't try to humiliate or you harass, because it is not a good thing. We are human being, and the most important thing when you are faculty, then you should learn how to work in a team. So these are some suggestions for the all the participants. Next, please. So these are the memories, you can say, when you do some research and you get some credits or recognition, it feels good, and it motivates you to do some good research, in future as well. So I got awards from different, platforms, and I was invited to deliver, several talks as an invited speaker. And this is, I think, this last segment is very important for me. Here you can see I am associated with the ISKCON since 2003 because I believe in Lord Krishna, and it helps me to motivate. Whenever I feel depressed. So whenever I feel low, I go to the ISKCON temple and I stand in front of the Lord Krishna, ideal, and I look for several minutes. So it will help, it will help me to motivate myself. So I do this kind of things to motivate myself. Yes, next please. So I would like to thank all of them who contributed in my life. I personally believe, I think, every individual life has, four wheels, which is, family life, professional life, social life, and spiritual life. So I would like to thank all my family members. I am the youngest child, and I am away from my home since 2003, almost 17 years, and then professional life, yes, my teachers, my colleagues, my friends, and all the funding agencies, who helped me to reach till here. Then social life, yes, it is also important, my friends and, social people. And spiritual life, yes, in my case, it is ISKCON, Lord Krishna. So I would like to thank all of them. And I will finish my talk with the words of the great Albert Einstein. Imagination is more important than knowledge. So I think this is very important. That what you think and what you imagine, to do some good work in your life. So with this, once again, I would like to thank Dr. Felix for giving me this opportunity to share my journey, and I hope the people will inspire and they will do some good work in future as well. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Nitin. Over to Shruti for a few words.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. It was really an very enlightening me also, sir. Being a DST Inspire faculty, and I am also a DST Inspire fellow. It is really very fortunate. Thank you, Dr. Felix, sir, for giving me an opportunity to co-moderate this session. Sir, it's really very. You have talked many things to how to start a career from doing PhD, from choosing a professor, and to do how to write article, how to do softwares. It is really very enlightening, sir. Sir, it is really very enlightening that being not from a IITians and NITs, you have also secured a very lot of success in your life, sir. I'm very fortunate, sir. The
Thank you,
next to,
Shruti.
yes, sir. So coming to the next, so we have a lot of questions from the live sessions. I come to the first question is that from the Tapas Kumar, sir. So he is asking, what if you do prediction in science talking existing evidence, scientific research findings in this COVID affected situation?
Can you repeat the question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, he is asking that what if you do prediction, science talking existing evidence on scientific research finding in this COVID affected situation?
No, I didn't get the questions. I think it is very complicated. Dr. Felix, can you easy the questions for me?
Shruti, could you paste it in the chat box? So if it's really complicated, so that might help.
Okay,
You
sir.
can
Okay,
paste the question in the chat box. Okay, just copy and paste it in the chat box.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hope, sir, you may get the.
I have one request to all of you. So please, ask the questions on the relevant topic. So Dr. Nitin is working on seaweeds, and he's coming from a humble beginning. Basically, he is from Hindi medium, and he got a great success in his professional caliber. So you can ask some questions related to that topic rather than questions on the modeling and the COVID-19 related questions. So I think the question itself is not really relevant. So yeah, I can see that question here. No, I don't see the question here. Nitin Trivedi section. Okay, anyway, Nitin, let me ask you one question here. So,
Yeah.
I totally enjoyed your session. It's amazing, really great session. And my point to you is that, well, also welcome aboard. You are now part of this Young Science Leader program. You are a co-coordinator, and thanks all of you watchers. So I would like to invite Dr. Nitin in the team. So he's part of our Young Science Leader series.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Felix.
And Dr. Nitin, because you are from a Hindi medium, not many speakers here are actually from the Hindi medium, and you educated in a government school. And then can you explain something about your transformation to the English? Right now you are speaking very fluent English, and of course you are publishing in a very good journals, and you are getting very good opportunities, including DS Kothari scholarship and DST Inspire. So what would be your recommendation for the Hindi medium students here? Many people have this kind of imposter syndrome, that
Yes,
I educated in a government school and we are not that very smart like English medium school students. So maybe you can light on those
yes. So, when I took admission in BSc, I also secured very less mark because that was in English medium. and I thought that I have to work hard. I have to surround myself with the people, who speaks English, and so this is the thing which we have to improve, because these are the drawbacks, or you can say, you cannot say mistakes, but you have not gone through all these things, so there is no option rather than learning. And I think the most important thing is that the contribution of Dr. C.R.K. Reddy is great for this, because he is from South India, and he has a very good English skill, and he used to speak in English and all the times. So all the communications were in English, and when I joined this CSMCRI, the most of the scientists from the different background, they also speak in English. So when you have to go ahead, then you have to learn the things, and this is not a big thing. I think if you can work hard, then you can speak English, you can write English. It is not a big deal. And don't take that burden on your mind that you are from Hindi medium, so you cannot do good things in your life. So nothing like that. It is all inside our mind, our brain, that what exactly you want to do in your future, your career.
Yeah, I totally agree with your point, and I can also relate my own life with you, because I am educated in Malayalam medium school, and English was not my medium of instruction, and I went to government school, Devi Sahayam school, as well as for my up to the UP level, and government boys high school in Payyanur in Kerala. That is where my own school is. It was completely in Malayalam medium, and we picked up English. So medium of instruction is not that very important. You really need to cover the basics. That is more important. No, you have to have a extreme reading, excellent reading abilities. So you have to cover widely, read a lot of interesting good books. And many people also think that, okay, reading books, library is really important, but no, friends. Library, I would say 90% or 99% of books are crap. You have to exercise which book to select. It's just like internet. Majority of the information on internet is full of fake news. So we just have to exercise which site to rely upon. So, that is what my experience now. Over to Shruti. Could you please pick up the next relevant question?
Yes, sir. It was a very nice, sir. Sir, our next question is that from Soumya Ranjan, and he is asking, sir, whatever your suggestion to complete PhD within 5 to 6 years. Sir, your talk was really amazing to the young researchers like we all PhD scholars. So please.
Yes. So I will suggest that the day you joined for your PhD, I think you discuss with your guide, and you plan your objectives in such a way that you can finish your PhD within a tenure time. And if your guide don't have time, then you can talk to your seniors, and they will help you to design objectives and all. I have learned all this from my experiences, and that's what today I'm sharing with you. So it will help you to save your time. So just start from the day one, and first you design your objectives and set timelines for yourself that I have to finish these objectives in this time, like 1 year or 6 months, and I have to communicate this work to the publication. So this is how I think you will be able to manage and finish your PhD in a given time.
Okay, Ankit from Shimla is asking one question about DS Kothari. So I'm applying for this DS Kothari, and last time my application was not successful. So I'm applying once again this year. So could you please give me some tips on how to improve chances of getting admitted with the DS Kothari fellowship?
Yeah. So first, as per my experience, I think the selection of host is very important. So you should select a host which has, the similar kind of expertise with your research field. So suppose if I am working on marine microbiology or marine enzymes, then I will apply with the host who is heavy expert on that field. And another thing is, you will get a limited you have to write it in a very small and smart way. So that is very important. You should learn how to write your projects, in a very, very smart and innovative way. So these are I think, some tips. It will help you to get a DSKPD.
Shruti?
Yes, sir. So another one question is from Kirti Gupta. So she is asking, could you please tell about the various PDF grants for working women in India?
For PDF, I think all of the PDFs are open to the women. But if you talk about the specific fellowships, I think there are the women scientist schemes. If you have a break in your career, then also you can apply for that. WAS scheme A and B schemes are there. So, but I suggest don't go for only for the woman PDF. You apply for all the fellowships. So you never know where you will get you get the selection.
So another one question from Roasting Guru. So she is asking that she is of age now 31 and she is pursuing MSc in physics. And she has a work experience of 8 years as a lecturer. So she is asking, should I go for a PhD? And as I think I am a top old for this, so kindly sir suggest him or her whether she should go for or he should go for PhD or not.
First of all, there is no age for the research, obviously, but in our system policy, they have make some rules. You should have some age for the PhD. But I think that is not correct. If you have passion and you really want to do research, then I think you should go ahead. But as a woman, uh, I suggest that you have to see your family background and all. And if it permits you, then I think you can go for the PhD. So that there is nothing wrong in that. And I have seen some cases where they got a PhD at the age of 50 years as well. So there is no age for learning and doing research.
Yes, it is very nice that in your talk also you mentioned that in PhD, whether you may research, you may in learning in research or you may in success in research. So I think she might got the result of your answer. Over to you, sir, Dr. Felix.
Yeah, Abida is asking from Ladakh. So, she's asking about your Nature, scientific report publication. So, any tips on getting a paper accepted in Nature scientific reports, and what could you share your experience? That is her question.
Yeah, it was a very interesting experience because my guide, Dr. C.R.K. Reddy, he has a habit that first he used to tell that submit your manuscript, to the high impact factor journal. So if it will not get accepted, then you will get the comments from the reviewers, and I think that the comments will help you to improve your manuscript. And I think the similar case happened in the case of scientific report. First, I have submitted to the other journal of higher impact factor, and somehow it was not selected. And then we worked on those comments, and we first have gone through the paper published in the scientific reports, and we understand that what kind of papers they are publishing, and then what is the writing skills they require. So all these homework we have done, and yes, with the help of my guide, I was able to publish that paper in a scientific report.
Yes, sir. So I think Dr. Felix sir might have many issues in network. Okay, sir. So next we go to your next question. That is from Solonidhal. So he or she is asking, what is the importance of publication at master's level? Can you suggest how to go about writing a review article?
Yes, it is very important if you are working in a good, laboratory, and if you are fortunate to get a publications, it will help you to get a PhD positions in, good institutes in India as well as abroad. Because in abroad, they ask for some English exams, and TOEFL and IELTS, and if you have publications with your master, then it is become easy for you to get the PhD. So I think, and for review article, I think I suggest that if you have experience in particular field, then only you can go for the review articles. Because it is for review article you have to understand so many things, and what are the gaps, and so I suggest to the young researchers, don't go for the review article. Rather, you publish a book chapter that will help you.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. So
Yeah.
all the participants are very much enthusiastic listening your talks, sir. All are asking about how to get grants after PG, how to find a right guide in PhD. So this question is from Susrit Subham. So kindly, sir. So being a research scholar, I am also too very much interested how to
Yes, yes,
complete
yes.
my PhD. Yes, sir. Sir,
Because I have habit to interact with many people, especially young researchers, and I heard that most of the guides they create problems in one and another way. So I suggest that before joining a lab, I think you go through the profile of your guide and you just see whether he has a good publication and how many students are working under him, because if he has 10 students, then obviously he will not be able to give you proper time, and again you will get you will feel depressed because my guide is not giving time to me, not giving importance to me. So I think the selection of guide is very important, and uh, yes, I think guide also should have to understand that the student is coming for PhD, then it's there is this responsibility to do justice with their tenure as well.
sir, here's
Yeah.
another one more question. How to get grants after PG? So you are
After
suggesting too much PG, UG and young researchers. So kindly sir, suggest us after
So
PG.
after post graduation, I think you have to, if you want to do this, you want to you can clear CSI JRF. Obviously, that is a very tough exam. You have to prepare for that. I also took coaching for that, but only for 1 month, and I got this offer letter from CSMCRI. So I left my coaching in between. I have regret for that, but anyways, So then, apart from CSI JRF, I think if you are a rank holder, then you can apply for the DST Inspire program, which is a very also good fellowship for 5 years from the DST. And there are women scientist schemes, for the PhD. So you can apply for so many fellowships. So what you need to do is you have to identify a good guide, and you take his or her help to write a proposal. So that is very important.
Yeah,
Okay,
Dr.
thank you.
Nitin, you're really fortunate to have a very fantastic PhD supervisor, Professor C.R.K.
Yes, yes,
Reddy.
yes.
Now that one question here is a Saumya Ranjan Satrusal. His earlier question we already picked up. His second question is that what should a mentee do if he's not well treated in a lab by his guide? So if there is a conflict with your PhD supervisor, what is your advice?
For mentor.
Minty.
Yeah, I mean, if the mentee, the student is not well treated by the department or by his guide, what is your suggestion?
See, I have seen several, cases or experiences. So I suggest, you have to see the long-term goal. If you're, some guide has a nature, so to say something to the students and demotivate and all. But if your guide is having a potential and you see that yes, I can learn so many things from my guide at the end of my PhD, I think you should continue with that. And if you really think that nothing will going to be happen, there is a conflict of interest. I think then it is better to leave the PhD. But if you are in the early career, you are in the first year of your PhD. If you think that after the completion of third or fourth year you will leave, then it's a kind of you have wasted your time. So you have to see the long term goal, profit.
Yeah, so I can also pick up another question by Ravi Kumar. Ravi Kumar, be teacher, faculty. I have a question regarding guiding students and treating scholar more friendly. I'm guiding my scholar since 2013 to work on marine sponges microbiology, but he couldn't complete it. So please suggest me how can I make him complete and submit his thesis on grace period, which has already been ended in April 2020. I'm all the way helping and encouraging him, but he couldn't catch up with my wavelength.
Yes, this is, I think, again the common issue, because as far as I see, I think we should, the selection of the student is very crucial. if you are selecting for a project, then you should go through his profile thoroughly, and you ask the questions while recruiting, that what exactly you are looking for, to do the job. So if your student is not able to do the work in a given time, then I suggest that you talk with him frankly, and you try to understand that what are the problems and what the difficulty he is facing, and try to resolve that, and you engage one of your other students with him to help him to complete his work in a given time.
Over to Shruti.
Yes, sir. So another one question from also Soumyaranjan Sadrushal. Sir, he is asking, can a student write a book chapter or a review article by himself without taking any help from the institution?
You can write, but if you are affiliated with some of the institute or university, I think it is better to give affiliation, because you are recognized by your institutes. Because we don't have, as an individually, we don't have any recognition until unless we are connected to some of the institutes. So I think it is ethical to give a credit or affiliation of your institutes where you are working.
Okay,
Yeah, I
sir.
totally agree with your point, and especially we had several such issues here also, that students are submitting the paper without even consent from the supervisor, and they're adding their name, the supervisor's name, in the paper, and without informing the supervisor that we are submitting the paper and we need your consent. So these kind of things are really tricky and really unethical, friends. And especially Soumyaranjan, who asked this question, beware. If you're writing any paper with your guide's name, you should ask your guide, the supervisor, his consent, his or her consent before submitting it. And more than that, if you want to write a paper yourself, no problem, you can write, but institutional affiliation should not be put. You can put your home address, and chances are high that you will not get accepted that kind of paper, So it's always better to discuss the case with your supervisor or, and mentor, and then write in consensus with all the authors together. So otherwise it's going to be a problem creator. So I strongly suggest don't do that kind of thing. It will create you big trouble later. Yeah. Yes, Shruti. You
Yes,
can pick up
sir.
another question.
Another one question from your research field, sir. She is Geetika Kumari, sir. So she is asking how to find a collaborative project. And her second question is that what should we read upon to get a novel ideas, most current ones? And she is now pursuing MTech Marine Biotechnology from a DBT sponsored program. Kindly, sir, help her.
What was the first question?
Sir, her first question is that how to find a collaborative project.
Okay. So first you need to see, you have to identify the people who are working in your area. So you can go through ResearchGate and Google Scholar, to get his profile, and you will get the kind of, research interest he or she has. Then you can write a direct email to him, or through ResearchGate or LinkedIn if he or she available on LinkedIn. So first step is you communicate with your collaborator and express your interest, that what exactly you are looking for. And this is how the communication starts. And if you are fortunate, then you will be able to do some good work in a collaboration. And the second question was?
Sir, her second question was how should we read upon to get novel ideas and most current novel ideas?
Yes. Because we have a lot of competition, because of the population, and the idea comes in your mind, and after a few months, if it will not work, then you will see some publication on it. So it is very important, start working on that, and to get a novel idea, I think you should read, research articles, review articles, and especially the future plans given in that particular section. So the future plans is nothing but the gaps, in which the author describe that these are the potential areas which needs to be to do research further.
Yeah, I can add on to that point about Geetika's question. that you should actually read across the discipline. That's also important. If you're working with marine biotechnology, then you can actually look at what is happening in the field of plant biotechnology or animal biotechnology and read those paper, and you can try to extend the same methodology for marine organism as well. So that kind of way, one option, what I do is that I look at the table of contents, TOC of the some of the journal which I follow, and read some interesting papers that is actually being published to get the novel idea. So always make sure that you look at the table of contents of the good journals, subscribe to it, and look at those ideas, what the other people are doing in across the field, not exactly in your field. For example, if you're a microbiologist, look at the plant biology, or if you're a plant biologist, look what animal biologists are doing. So reading across that is very important. And also subscribe to interesting popular science podcast, or watch interesting science show. Like I'm also releasing science show called Curiosity, which I summarized 10 interesting picks of the last week, earlier week. And I present, I released one episode yesterday. You might have seen that. I also have one question to you, Geetika. You said that you are doing a DBT sponsored program, MTech in Marine Biotechnology. And I wonder, where do you study this? MTech in Marine Biotechnology, I've never came across. Could you please tell me where exactly you are pursuing this MTech in Marine Biotechnology? I know that there is a program, Marine Microbiology in AMET in Chennai. Are you from AMET University? You can use the chat box. And now over to Shruti to pick up the next question.
Sir, her another one more question is that she is telling that her institution does not support on getting paper published as a part of master dissertation. So, and she is asking to Dr. Nitin sir to please guide me, sir. What should I do? How can I begin for writing a paper?
I think this is the common problem with most of the state universities, or because I really don't understand that why the institution or guide don't support the students, because if they will support the students, they will get good publications, and at the end that credit goes to the institutes and faculty. So I think we need to change our thinking process, and especially to the guides, because see, these are the students who makes your career, because if they will publish good papers, the credit goes to you. So it is a kind of mutual relationship, and we have to respect each other's feelings, So to do good research, otherwise again these kind of problems will occur, and it will demotivate and frustrate the students.
Exactly, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Sir, our next question is from Jivan Jyoti Das. Sir, he is asking, sir, could you please simplify the classic field of science to an applied field for joining research and transformation from academics to industrial sector?
See, I think for any industrial research, I think basic science is the key. Until unless you will not understand the basics of your subject, it is very difficult to translate that into the industrial research. So I think you should have a thorough knowledge of your field, and once you understand the things, then you can play with the basic things, and you can modify your gene of interest or your product of interest, and you can translate it to the industrial product. So yes, I think as a researcher, it is our responsibility or duty. We should always think from the community or society point of view, because for promotion and for job, publications and these are fine, but at the end we are researchers, and we have to understand that if we are spending 25 to 30 years of our life, and if we are not able to help the people of society, then I think it's of no use, spending so much of years. So I think being a responsible researcher or scientist, we should understand all these things.
Okay, thank you, sir. Over to you, sir, Dr. Felix.
Okay, I have one question here from Rekha Kokkanti. And Rekha, thank you for watching. And I know that you're really very, very passionate on our YSL series. And last time you moderated the session. Thank you for that. Rekha's question is a technical one. Sir, can the marine endophytic algae be used as a probiotic in the treatment of diabetes? What is your comment on this? It's a highly technical question.
Marine endophytic microbes.
Marine endophytic algae as a probiotic for diabetes.
Yes, yes, yes. You can do, but it is an endophytic. So until unless if from my understanding, I think you have that biomass in a large quantity, then only you can use it as a feedstock to produce the probiotic. So first you need to isolate that endobiotic, and you have to culture, and you have to make a pure culture of that, and you can go for the production at larger scale, and then you have to do all those probiotic studies. So it is doable, but it takes efforts. Because because isolation of the endobiotic algae, it is also not easy task.
Okay, so fantastic, Nitin. Nitin, could you can share a few lines about your, childhood days, which you I didn't see in your presentation. So, who were your influences in to choose a career in science? And who were your role models, and why did you choose science?
I think the real
What
inspiration
inspired you to choose
from
science?
yes, yes, yes. My father, Shri Nitin Trivedi, he is a role model of my life. Because he was in a Rajasthan education service. So I used to see him, and he was the principal of the schools, and he used to share me the different ideas, and about how the administration works, and I inspired from my father, and he had a dream that all of his children pursue career in science, and my elder brother and sister, they studied science, and I inspired from them as well to do research career in the science. So my father is my role model, yes, and of course your mother is always there, you to support there.
Yes, Shruti.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir. You are really an inspiration to all young researchers like us, sir. Another one question, sir. That is from Somiranjan. Sir, he is asking, marine life holds a great wonders within. But he again putting his question that I may be wrong, but I feel only a few people are interested in choosing marine science as a career. Is it due to lack of awareness, or what the reason, sir? Kindly, sir, guide
Yes,
him.
even we are discussing, these things again and again, because in coming years, I think we have to shift our focus from terrestrial resources to the marine-based resources. There is no alternate, because the way the population is increasing, there will be a scarcity of food and fresh water. Then we have to shift our focus to the marine resources. And if I talk about the India, and especially the seaweeds, India has a coastal line of 7,500 kilometers, and if we can, use those seawater to do some kind of seaweed cultivation, and so then the seaweeds can be a source of food, feed, fertilizer, the products of nutraceutical applications, and food. Because in most of the Asian countries, these seaweeds are they are the part of their daily diet, and they are eating it, and I think South Korea, China, Indonesia, Philippines, they are the major producers of the seaweed. So I think our policymakers, they need to understand the importance of algae or marine resources, and they have to take some initiatives to take it as forward, because this is the need of the hour.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, all our participants are very much enthusiastic and asking so many questions, sir. So another one question from Rahul Ranjan, sir. Is there any specific grant for taxonomic research for postdoctoral research?
Yes, you can do this taxonomic research. I think Dr. Felix is also is involved in such kind of activities, taxonomic research. But again, I will tell you, it comes under the basic science, and the people in India or science leaders who this select our proposals when we submit a proposals on basic science, then the chances are very difficult to get acceptance of those kind of paper projects. So I think it's not like that they are not supporting, but I think still in India, I think the major emphasis on on the industrial research rather than the basic research. But I think there should be a equal contribution from for both the basic as well as translational research.
Over to you, sir, Felix.
Yeah, I can also add on, of course, if you're looking for the taxonomy related thing, of course, you can try in Ministry of Environmental and Forest and Ministry of Earth Science. They do support such activities, especially on seaweed. I do have a program by MOEF and as well as Ministry of Earth Science, MOES. And recently, one of my proposal got accepted in DST SERB. So SERB has got something called Core Research Grant. Of course, you can write any field of your interest, including the taxonomy. And if you are interested only on the taxonomy specific grant, then there is a thing called, ICOP tax. That is basically All India Coordinated Project on Capacity Building in Taxonomy. So ICOP tax is again by a Ministry of Environment and Forest, and NVIS and BSI. They are the coordinating agencies for ICOP tax. So wait for the next call, and you can apply for any organism specific taxonomy. It's not really limited to the marine biology alone, but even for the terrestrial plants, animals, insects, viruses, bacteria, anything to do with the taxonomy, you can do that. So yeah, thanks a lot, Dr. Nitin. We are really, we actually started a bit late, but we are again, we are offshooted our time by almost 10-15 minutes. Thanks a lot, and it's my pleasure to have you here with us today. And it's an amazing session and lots of questions. And yeah, this is the first time that someone who is actually working on marine biology have come in our series. And of course, welcome aboard. And let us actually put this young science leadership series ahead.
Thank you so much, Dr. Felix, for this wonderful opportunity. And this is also a kind of experience for me as well as to interact with people through this platform. And I was looking for such kind of opportunity. So once again, thank you. And my request to the students who have the questions, I given my details, so you can ask the questions, and I will be happy to answer in any way.
Right. Shruti, would you like to add some points?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, you are given a very much like it's a kind of motivational talk, how to overcome PhD, how to deal with guide, how to write a research article, how to learn the softwares. Thank you so much, sir, for your time and giving valuable suggestions, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And also enjoyed, you integrated the spirituality in your talk, the ISKCON and Krishna. Of course, that is really important to have a good mindset, the spiritual or not spiritual, believe in God or not believe in God. But anyway, you need to have a spiritual mindset. So that point is also highly appreciable. Thanks for that.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Nitin. So yeah, our next talk is by Dr. Sinosh Skariachan. He is working in the field of microbiology, and he is our Young Science Leader Series speaker. And his talk is at 4:30 p.m. today. So please come back, enjoy the rest of Saturday, beautiful day. And yeah, we'll see you all at 4:30 p.m. today for the Sinosh Skariachan's talk. Goodbye till then.